Hey, what's poppin', guys? It's Chris. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna establish that a well-planned vegan diet can be perfectly healthful and adequate for human health at all stages of life. In order to do that, we're gonna look at what the top nutrition and dietetic organizations around the world have to say on this topic. We're gonna look at human biology a little bit, break it down logically, and we're gonna talk about specific nutrients that people tend to be concerned about. And lastly, I'll end it off with my personal anecdote, my experience being vegan over the last 4 years. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna start off this video looking at what the top nutrition organizations around the world have to say on the subject. We're gonna start with the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It's the largest professional organization of dietetic/nutrition professionals in the world. They have over 100,000 members, and that counts registered dietitians, researchers, educators, people with advanced master's and doctorate degrees in the field. And they've released a position statement on the subject of vegan diets, citing over 100 peer-reviewed scientific studies, which says that appropriately planned vegetarian, including vegan, diets are healthful, nutritionally adequate, and may provide health benefits for the prevention and treatment of certain diseases. These diets are appropriate for all stages of the life cycle, including pregnancy, lactation, infancy, childhood, adolescence, older adulthood, and for athletes. Plant-based diets are more environmentally sustainable than diets rich in animal products because they use fewer natural resources and are associated with much less environmental damage. Vegetarians and vegans are at a reduced risk of certain health conditions, including ischemic heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, certain types of cancer, and obesity. Low intake of saturated fat and high intakes of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, soy products, nuts, and seeds, all rich in fiber and phytochemicals, are characteristics of vegetarian and vegan diets that produce lower total and low density lipoprotein cholesterol levels and better serum glucose control. These factors contribute to reduction of chronic disease. Vegans do need reliable sources of vitamin B12, such as fortified foods or supplements. So yeah, that was quite a mouthful, but as you can see, they have a very robust and thorough position on the subject. And once again, this position is backed by over 100 peer-reviewed studies. I'll link it in the description if you want to take a look at it yourself. I do want to make special emphasis that this is about well-planned vegan diets. Just because one is following a vegan diet doesn't mean that they will reap health benefits or have good health in the long term. Just because a diet is vegan doesn't intrinsically make it healthy in virtue of the fact that it has no animal products. Like, I can think of a potato chip only vegan diet where you're just eating Lay's all day. It's vegan, you're not gonna be healthy in the long term, guaranteed. So when I say well-planned and when the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics say a well-planned vegan diet, it's basically eating a variety of foods, mostly whole food based, just trying to make sure you get all your nutrition bases covered and not just eating like junk food or like Oreos only and like potato chips only type of thing. So yeah, this position statement regarding the adequacy of a well-planned vegan diet is actually corroborated by other major dietetic organizations around the world, including organizations in Canada, Britain, and Australia. So I'll link those in the description down below. So yeah, it's essentially an unequivocal scientific consensus that a well-planned vegan diet can be perfectly fine for human health. And this is based on decades of peer-reviewed research, looking at hundreds of thousands of participants over time, monitoring their health outcomes. This is not based on mere speculation or my opinion or personal anecdote. These are the facts on the matter, and it really can't be disputed. I know I just said it can't be disputed, but of course, if you have any questions or something like doesn't add up to you at any point in the video, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll get to you. So yeah, at this point you might be wondering, like, how can that be the case though? Like, explain more. Like, aren't humans carnivores? We've been eating meat for tens and thousands of years. What I have to say to that is technically humans are omnivores, not carnivores. I mean, most people get that, but there are certain people who think humans are a carnivorous species like lions or hyenas. Being omnivorous means we can consume and digest plant and animal matter. It doesn't dictate that we must consume animal tissue or animal secretions to be healthy. Basically, being omnivorous is a very positive, adaptive trait to have as a species. It's allowed our species to thrive in many different environments with many different food sources. So yeah, we're omnivorous and not carnivorous. So yeah, being omnivorous means we can get all of our essential nutrients from plants/bacteria directly. It doesn't necessitate that we eat animal tissue or animal secretions. After all, every single essential nutrient for human health and human thriving originates first in the plant and bacteria kingdoms. Think about it. All of the nutrients that are in meat, dairy, eggs, those nutrients accumulate in those substances as a consequence of all the plant matter that those animals eat throughout their lifetime. It really doesn't make sense to use animals as a middleman for those nutrients when we can just go to the source directly. And for this, I'll include a brief segment from a very popular speech given by an animal rights activist where he talked about this very subject.
Eat what comes from the earth. Every vitamin, mineral, and nutrient that exists, protein, calcium, iron, potassium, all the B vitamins, they have an original source, and it ain't the animals. You are aware that people eat animals after the animals have already eaten from the earth. People eat cows after the cows eat up the grass, some of the soil. Then we ship them to a feedlot, feed them most of our corn, wheat, oats, and soy. Then we take more of the corn, wheat, oats, and soy, shove it down the throats of pigs and chickens and turkeys. Stop filtering your nutrients through somebody else's body. It's illogical and irrational. Go to those sources directly: fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes.
So yeah, like Gary Yourofsky just said in that speech segment, there's really no biological requirement for us to get those nutrients from animals. When we consume nutrients, our body doesn't know whether it came from animal tissue or from plant matter. It doesn't know the difference at all. So yeah, we can just get all of our nutrients directly from whole foods or in supplemental form for certain nutrients like vitamin B12 and vitamin D. So yeah, hopefully by now it's making a little bit more sense to you. I know there's a lot more I can go into regarding like human anatomy, biology, human diets in times past, you know, the structure of our physiology and our digestive tract, the shape of our teeth, all that. I just want to keep this video simple. What really matters is what the scientific data has to say on the subject, health outcome data. As I've already shown, vegan diets can be perfectly healthful for human health, so I'm not really gonna get into that. The data supports it, just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, at this point in the video, I just wanna touch on specific nutrients that are important that people tend to be concerned about, such as zinc, iron, calcium, protein, omega-3s, iodine. The short answer is you can just go to Google and type in how to get vegan blank, like how to get vegan iron, how to get vegan protein, how to get vegan calcium. And all those things will show up for you just like that. And real quick here, I just want to mention veganhealth.org. It's an incredible online resource with articles written by registered dietitians where they talk about basically every nutrient you could be concerned about, you know, daily requirements, what vegan foods to eat to get those nutrients. And they cite a bunch of scientific studies in support of all of their claims. I'll leave a link to this in the description. But since I'm such a nice guy, I'll tell you where to get some of these nutrients real quick. And for this, I'm gonna refer to my notes. So you can get iron from legumes, whole grains, soy and seeds, calcium from tofu/soy milk, as well as from kale and other plant milks, protein from soy, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Real quick, I'll mention that all plant proteins have all 9 essential amino acids. It's a common misconception that certain plant proteins don't have certain important amino acids, but that's a myth. Every single plant protein does contain all 9 essential amino acids in varying proportions. So as long as you get enough protein in grams per day for your specific needs, you don't have to worry at all about amino acids. As evidence for this point, I'll be referring here to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics position statement mentioned previously. They say that protein from a variety of plant foods eaten during the course of a day supplies enough of all indispensable or essential amino acids when caloric requirements are met. The regular use of legumes and soy products will ensure an adequate protein intake for the vegetarian/vegan, as well as providing other essential nutrients. You can get zinc from soy, beans, and seeds, omega-3s from ALA containing foods like chia and flax seeds, walnuts. You can get B12 from fortified foods like plant milks, nutritional yeast, and certain energy drinks, or from a supplement. And I'll just note here that B12 is originally produced by bacteria, whether that be in the soil or in the guts of animals themselves. So you can just get a B12 supplement. I take one once a week and I'm doing fine. Yeah, there's other nutrients people tend to be concerned about, but these are like the most common ones that I see. Like I said, you can go on Google and type in how to get XYZ nutrient. It's gonna pop up for you no matter what. Internet's an amazing resource. So yeah, the main point here is that you can get every essential nutrient you need on a vegan diet. You just need to know where to look, what to eat. And for other like fringe nutrients like taurine, carnosine, carnitine, creatine, our bodies can endogenously synthesize them, which basically is a gigabrain way of saying our bodies can make them on their own from the amino acids we eat via certain metabolic pathways that are like complicated and not relevant for this video. But yeah, you can get everything you need on a vegan diet. So yeah, now I want to just round out this video with my personal experience being vegan for the last 4 years. I'm intentionally putting this at the end of the video because it's personal anecdote. That's the least reliable form of evidence on the hierarchy of evidence. But my experience has been very positive over the last 4 years being vegan. I feel very healthy, feel very energetic. I put on 40 pounds of size over the last 4 years, most of it muscle, because I've been, just eating a lot more while lifting weights. I was able to achieve a 1,000 pound total on the big three, bench, squat, and deadlift, which I think is above average strength for someone, my age. I'll include, clips of that on the screen here. I'm not a power lifter, but I just kind of went at that earlier this year just to see where my numbers stood. For now, I'm mostly a calisthenics athlete, so focusing on weighted pull-ups, dips, handstand push-ups, trying to learn these various body weight skills. Another thing I want to mention is that I used to get headaches and stomach aches somewhat frequently before I went vegan. And I used to have a lot of mucus, like in my nasal way, in my throat. That like completely disappeared ever since going vegan. It might sound crazy, but yeah, been vegan 4 years, haven't had like maybe one headache in like 4 years. Like it's so infrequent, I don't even remember it. I don't get stomach aches. I don't have any of that mucus in my throat anymore. So it's just been an amazing experience. It's been very positive for my health. And lastly, I'll show a little bit of my blood test results from my recent physical here on the screen. You can see all my numbers were good. My cholesterol was excellent. Blood sugar control was great. Doctor said I'm in amazing health. Just keep doing what I'm doing. So if you're curious like what I eat, I'm definitely planning on making more of those videos in the future, but I'll throw a link or a card to a what I eat in a day video I made, I think last year. And I also tracked like everything I ate in an app. So it shows like all the nutrients I got, how much protein. So I'll definitely encourage you to check that out if you want to know like practically like how this works, like what am I eating to be healthy as a vegan. So yeah guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching the whole way through. It really means a lot to me. Hope you learned something. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions or concerns, anything, leave it down below in the comments, or you can shoot me a message on my Instagram. My handle is Young Gains. I'll be happy to help you and answer your questions, whatever you got. Yeah, with that said, it's Chris signing out. Have a good one. Peace.